The stage lights glow softly as a married Filipino couple from Cebu City, Philippines walks out hand in hand, instantly drawing attention. The atmosphere shifts from casual chatter to curious silence. The husband, Marco Santos, looks modest and slightly overwhelmed by the scale of the venue. His shoulders are relaxed, but his eyes reveal nerves as he scans the audience and judges. Beside him, his wife Liza Santos moves with calm confidence, her posture upright, her expression playful yet assured. From the very first step, it is clear that while Marco has the voice, Liza has the presence. The contrast between them is natural, not forced, and it immediately makes people smile. Marco introduces himself in a gentle voice, explaining that they traveled from Cebu with big dreams and even bigger hope. He starts to mention how long they've been married, but Liza lightly taps his arm, laughing, and corrects him with ease. She speaks clearly, confidently, and with a warmth that fills the room. The audience chuckles, sensing a familiar dynamic. This is not an act, this is real married life. Liza proudly shares that they've been together for many years, building a family, working ordinary jobs, and singing together whenever life allowed. Her tone is loving but firm, the kind that suggests she knows exactly who she is and where she stands. As Marco tries to continue explaining their musical journey, he hesitates, searching for the right words. Liza gently steps in again, finishing his sentence without embarrassment or ego. She jokes that at home, she handles the decisions, the schedules, and even his rehearsals. The crowd bursts into laughter. Instead of feeling overshadowed, Marco smiles with relief, clearly comfortable letting her lead. His reaction tells its own story. This partnership works because of balance, not competition. Their body language shows years of understanding, small glances, quiet smiles, and a shared sense of timing. The judges exchange looks, already intrigued. Simon Cowell, sitting forward, studies them closely. He isn't just watching a couple, he's reading their story. He asks who the boss is in the relationship. Before Marco can answer, Liza raises her hand confidently, saying it's definitely her. The audience erupts again, clapping and cheering. Marco laughs and nods in agreement, adding that life is much easier when he listens to his wife. The honesty of the moment breaks any remaining tension in the room. Liza explains that their dream isn't fame alone but proving that marriage doesn't end passion or ambition. She talks about late nights in Cebu, practicing after long workdays, sometimes arguing, sometimes laughing, but always singing. Marco listens quietly, eyes slightly moist, clearly moved by her words. For him, the stage feels big, but standing next to his wife makes it manageable. The audience feels that connection deeply. There is no performance yet, no music, but the emotional tone is already set. By the time the host signals that it's time to sing, the room is fully invested, waiting not just for a song, but for a story told through love, leadership, and partnership. The music begins with a slow, soulful introduction, and the moment the first note fills the hall, Marco's nervousness fades into focus. He closes his eyes briefly, takes a deep breath, and starts singing with a warm, steady tone that surprises the audience. His voice carries emotion shaped by years of real life, responsibility, love, sacrifice. The sound isn't flashy at first, but it is honest, and that honesty reaches the crowd immediately. People lean forward, sensing there is depth behind every word. Marco's grip on the microphone loosens as confidence slowly replaces fear. Liza stands beside him, watching closely, not as a background singer but as a quiet director. Her eyes stay on him, counting beats, reading his breathing, guiding him without touching. When the melody rises, she steps half a pace forward, lifting her hand slightly, signaling him to hold the note longer. Marco responds instinctively, stretching the note with control, and the audience reacts with soft gasps. It feels less like a performance and more like a private conversation unfolding on a public stage. As the song moves into the chorus, Liza joins in. Her voice is stronger, clearer, and more commanding, instantly changing the energy in the room. She doesn't overpower Marco, instead, she anchors him. Her presence sharpens the performance, giving it structure and confidence. She gestures gently, guiding harmonies, stepping back when Marco needs space, then moving forward when the emotion demands intensity. The balance between them is striking. Every movement shows years of shared experience, of knowing exactly when to lead and when to follow. The audience begins clapping softly in rhythm, smiles spreading across faces. Some people laugh lightly at how naturally Liza takes control of the stage, but the laughter quickly turns into admiration. This is not dominance, it is partnership. Marco watches her from the corner of his eye, trusting her completely. When he misses a breath, she fills the gap. When his voice trembles slightly, she steadies the harmony. Their coordination feels effortless, but it is clear it comes from countless nights of practice back home in Cebu. On the judging panel, Simon Cowell leans forward, resting his chin on his hand. His expression shifts from curiosity to genuine interest. He watches how Liza subtly commands the performance, how Marco responds without resistance. Simon's eyes narrow slightly, not in criticism but in analysis. He nods once, impressed. This isn't just about vocals, it's about control, confidence, and storytelling. He glances at the other judges, a small smile forming, clearly entertained by the dynamic unfolding in front of him. As the song reaches its emotional peak, Liza steps closer to Marco, their voices blending into a powerful harmony. The lighting intensifies, reflecting the energy between them. Marco delivers the final line with conviction, his voice stronger than at the start, shaped by her guidance. When the last note fades, there is a brief moment of silence, then the room erupts. Cheers, applause, and whistles fill the hall. Marco exhales, overwhelmed, while Liza smiles calmly, satisfied, knowing she led them exactly where they needed to be. For a split second after the applause begins, Marco stands completely still, as if his body needs time to catch up with what just happened. His chest rises and falls quickly, his eyes shining under the stage lights. Liza gently places a hand on his arm, grounding him, her expression calm and assured. The noise in the hall grows louder, people standing, clapping above their heads, some smiling widely, others clearly moved. This reaction feels different from ordinary applause, it feels personal, like the audience has witnessed something genuine rather than just a performance. Simon Cowell is the first judge to speak. He leans closer to the microphone, a half-smile on his face, shaking his head slightly as if still processing what he saw. He admits that when they first walked out, he expected a simple couple act, maybe sweet but predictable. Then he looks directly at Liza and says, with a mix of humor and respect, that she is absolutely the boss. The audience laughs, but Simon quickly turns serious. He explains that what impressed him most was not just the singing, but the control, the confidence, and the clear understanding between them. He points out how rare it is to see a married couple turn their real-life dynamic into a strength on stage. Marco laughs nervously when Simon addresses him, admitting that his wife has always been his guide, on and off the stage. He thanks her openly, his voice breaking slightly, saying he would never have had the courage to stand there alone. Liza listens quietly, her confident smile softening as emotion finally reaches her eyes. She squeezes his hand, reminding him silently that they did this together. The moment feels intimate despite the massive crowd. Simon adds that Marco's voice grew stronger because he trusted Liza completely, and that kind of trust cannot be taught. He tells them that audiences don't just vote for talent, they vote for stories they believe in. According to him, their story, two people from Cebu who built a life together and chose to chase a dream side by side, is exactly what people connect with. The other judges nod in agreement, praising their authenticity and chemistry. As the feedback ends, Marco and Liza embrace briefly on stage. It isn't dramatic or staged, just real. The cheers rise again, louder than before. In that moment, they are no longer just a married couple from the Philippines, they are performers who prove that love, leadership, and partnership can create something powerful enough to silence doubts and move an entire room.